blab too much. Just make sure your cell phones are off and keep tweeting and stuff to a minimum. And let's get into this business. I would like to welcome to the stage, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Frank Darabont, executive producer. Also, executive producer Galen Hurd is also here. And maybe there's a guy you may have heard of by the name of Robert Kirkman. And head of special effects and producer, Craig Nicotero as well. Okay, so before we bring the cast out, and we're just going to have this weird, long panel of empty seats, I want to talk to you guys about a couple of things. But first, Gail, I know you have an announcement that you would like to share with the thousands of fans who've lined up all day long.
Okay, first of all, please get out your smartphones, if you have them. I want to announce the premiere date for Season 2 of The Walking Dead. It will be Sunday, October 16th, new time, 9 o'clock p.m.
We could not wait for Halloween, so we're coming at you a few weeks early, so it's going to be pretty exciting.
Sweet. Now, I really, can we just start off, Frank, I don't know if you're able to answer this. Can you tell us exactly what happens in Season 2 from start to finish?
We'd have to kill everybody in the room.
Ah, crap. All right. Well, I thought I could trick you with one of my crazy mind traps. But I want to find out, first of all, before we bring the cast out here, how do you guys sell a show like Walking Dead to AMC? I mean, AMC, you know, obviously watching like Mad Men, Breaking Bad, how do you go to AMC and go, we want to make a show about zombies, and they say, okay.
Well, I think most of you, since you're genre fans, right?
Yeah.
They have a fabulous block of programming, which we will be premiering in, called Fear Fest, in October, leading up to Halloween. And they thought that they already had the eyeballs, they had the fans, they're lovers of the genre, you know, and they were looking for a show that spoke to those fans, and here we are.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And Robert, were you part of the pitch, or did they just take your the graphic novel, or how were you involved?
I had no idea what was even going on. They called me after it was all done.
Like, hey, you're on TV. What? You came out to LA.
No, I mean, I heard that AMC was interested from Frank and Gail, I think after they had done the pitch. So they were like, oh, you know, we've been talking to AMC, AMC's on board, we're actually going to be able to make this happen. So it was all a fairly quick process when AMC came on board. So that was pretty great. But I got to say, you got to really hand it to AMC for being a network that had enough vision to try something this crazy.
Yeah.
You know, we did talk to a lot of other networks that didn't have that kind of vision, so it's really kind of amazing that they hopped in and jumped on board.
And now they all want a zombie show.
I think it's amazing. I mean, like,
they can all call me.
I think AMC, like any other network, I think would have made 9 Mad Men ripoffs, you know, and they didn't. They went through and let each show be its own voice. Did you ever? I mean, when you started doing Walking Dead and its sort of never-ending tale, did you think it could actually be a TV show, or did you never even think about that?
No, I never really did. To be honest, I was kind of the mind that it would never, ever be a television show, just because, you know, it is so dark and it is zombies. You know, it's the you know, the idea of the show is that people get eaten and torn apart. You know, like that's not something that you see on television every day. So I was doing the comic thinking, well, I'll always be doing this comic, and my managers would call me up and go, hey, so-and-so's interested in doing this, and I'd go, yeah, that's funny, it's never going to happen. And then, you know, eventually Frank came along and never went away, so it was, it was pretty cool.
And Greg and Darryl
went away.
I
immediately thought of it as a TV show. The first issue I read, I went, ah, the thing I've been looking for, thank God.
And
I lack vision.
Can I nerd out over you for a sec, right there, bud? Can I nerd out over you for a second? You wrote my favorite Nightmare on Elm Street. I'm sorry, I loved it. That was my favorite. I freaking love Dream Warriors. Okay, I just needed that out of the way. They said
that was actually me and Chuck Russell in a cabin in Big Bear
Oh, well, the personal details are important, but I think it's nice that
We rewrote the script for Nightmare on Elm Street 3 in 11 days in a cabin in Big Bear. A month before they were supposed to start shooting, they still didn't have a director. And they didn't have a script. And they hired Chuck Russell, so he and I went up to Big Bear, blew through that script, and like 3 weeks later, he was on the set calling action.
Nice.
It was quick. It was a quick gig.
And the results was the Dream Warriors. Greg Nicotero, I want to talk to you for a second because I mean, certainly this show would not be this show without the effects that you create. And I know the trailer played on a loop on the floor last year, and like my friends and I, my buddy Brian Posehn and I just stood and watched, and Posehn was like, "Oh my God, dude!" Like we watched that trailer like 10 times. The portrayal of zombies in Walking Dead is unlike anything in film or television. So, I mean, how did you approach? I mean, I know you have a huge background with Sweeney and Romero.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I guess when I grew up in Pittsburgh, I just assumed everybody loved zombies because Monroeville Mall, Evans City Cemetery, when they shot the original Night of the Living Dead, you know, Frank and I always talked about doing a zombie thing together. And I remember I was shooting Spy Kids with Robert Rodriguez, and I went to Austin Comics and found the first issue of The Walking Dead. I was like, dude, how cool is this that there's a comic book with zombies in it? So for me, I've always, you know, I have sort of a pedigree of working on a bunch of zombie projects, but with this, I mean, you know, we were really determined to follow the spirit of the artwork and sort of push things a little further. You know, every character has contact lenses, custom prosthetics, and all this kind of stuff. But, you know, I'm just excited about taking what I learned on all these other projects and sort of refining and fine-tuning everything. So, you know, even as much as casting each particular zombie performer, you know, we had a zombie school in Atlanta where...
There's a zombie camp?
There is.
Like there's a zombie school where you go to learn to be a zombie?
There is.
How do I get into that?
It's actually pretty easy. You have to be in Atlanta, and then the extras casting people call and find, I mean, it's...
You're a zombie regular.
But, you know, we started with great faces and then sort of built up from there. So they're all really good performers and they help sell it as well. So it's really great.
I just want to point out that he said you can be a zombie, so it's done.
Does that mean you think to be a zombie? Yeah.
I would love to see you shot in the face.
Yeah, just scrape across the ground with my leg nub and you can shoot me right in the stomach. I don't care. Oh, you did?
Yes, in the finale.
That's awesome.
She did great too.
She was a great zombie.
She's one of the zombies on the lawn in the CDC. I'm not sure exactly.
Oh, yes!
Who shoots her in the head? I think
Crawling
it
up
might be
the
Shane.
when I first saw it,
She did great.
I saw the show last year. Someone snuck in the discs from G4, and I actually
The show admitted.
What? Come on, Robert. Not in front of the guests. I actually scared a group of girls away at a party because I was so emphatically talking about Walking Dead when it first came out, and the following phrase came out of my mouth and it made everyone scared. I was like, "No, because if there were really a zombie apocalypse, that's exactly what it would be like." And I was like, that came out of my mouth.
But you're no stranger to scaring girls away.
No. It's almost, I must love it. It's like a habit. So, is there, in season 2, you guys did 6 episodes for the first season, and obviously one of the hugest shows on television last year. How has going into the second season, knowing you have more episodes, you probably have some more budget, is that a little bit scarier to know that you have more resources in a way?
It's a bit of pressure, you know, knowing that everybody loves the show and there's an expectation now, because the good thing about the first season is that no one actually knew, you know, what was coming. It was, you know, you had seen good things, but, you know, it was a new thing that people wanted to find out about. But I can say that, you know, it's just made everyone work harder. And Frank, jump in anytime you want. But like, we know that it's empowered us to try harder, to cross more lines, to do bigger things, to tell bigger stories. Knowing that there is that rabid fan base out there that has said loud and clear, like, we love the show. So